Hello guys, what's up? Welcome to the new tutorial from the SketchUp Arc Studio. In this case, I'm going to show you how we can create some realistic render in Enscape. So let's get to work. I have this house in here and I downloaded from the 3dwarehouse.com. So I want to render this job, but I don't know how. First of all, I want to place all of my assets in this environment, and after that, I'm going to render it. For this job, I'm going to click on the asset library in here and click on the multi-asset placement new update in Enscape 3.5. So I'm going to click on it and change my category to the vegetation and use some type of bushes with the autumn color for my job. So I prefer to use paint selection. Click on this one, this one, this one, this one, and now I can select these ground in here, and as you can see, it will generate it for me in different types and settings. I can increase the density and you can see the final changes after a second. It takes a little bit time because it's a little bit heavy job and needs some good network. So as you can see, the result is something like that. So I will click on the apply changes and confirm placement. So it takes a little bit time because Enscape generating the ground for you. So I will click on the confirm placement and click on the apply changes. As you can see, it takes a little bit time because big environments needs better time and more spending on the rendering and generating. So if it hold on the 100% and nothing happened, you can check the SketchUp. So everything is done for me right now. I think it's good. So I want another type of trees, so I can click on the clear all in here, click on the vegetation, untag the bushes, and now I only check the autumns. So I want to see the autumn vegetation. For example, this one can be good, and another tree like that. So I can click on this face again, and you can see the final result after a second. So if you don't like these type of placement, you can reduce the density a little bit, and you can click on the regenerate to reach to the best result. For example, something like that can be good. For example, something like this. So I can increase the density another time, click on the regenerate, and I can pick up the best position. For example, something like this, not bad for this job. So I can click on the confirm placement and apply changes. So right now I can wait a moment, and after that I think I can click on the single asset placement in here, but this time I can place my favorite trees very simple and easy. So I can click, for example, this one, add it to my environment, another tree like that in here, because I want to close the shot from the front of the camera and project of the house. So another tree in here, and I think something near to the green can be good, but it's a little bit to find it. So this type of trees, the Deaches tree 195 oak, have some good quality for your realistic renders. So always use these type of trees for your environment and click on the apply changes. So my assets done for me, and now objects are completely cover my screen and project very well. So I only want to add some type of personage on my render, but right now we don't need it. So I will close the Enscape asset library. As you can see, moving in the Enscape with a little bit maybe rips or bugs, and because my graphic card is the GTX 960 NVIDIA, so it's a little bit heavy for these type of graphic cards, but I do my job. So I think everything is good. I want to turn on the save frame in here and orbit my camera shot. So I will press view management at the left side and create my first view, but I don't know how. So I will click on the create view, set my position. For example, something like this can be good, something like that. And I want to turn off the pitch and convert it to the 0 because I need some straight eye level camera shot, and the eye is about 0 again. And XYZ is not really important right now. I want to unlink my visual preset and rename my CAD name to the Enscape render number 1 and add it to my favorite shots. So time of the day can be changeable, so I want to uncheck the save Enscape some position and click on the create option. As you can see, it takes a little bit time, and after that view will be created for you. So I can click on the Enscape render number 1 and everything will be set on the default mode. So I want to start my job with the visual setting and all the materials checked out before this tutorial. I want to start my job with the FOV, field of view. I want to focus on my target, my house, and something like that can be really wonderful for this job. So I'm going to type 61-degree horizontal, and about the exposure, I can uncheck the auto exposure and re-exposure my screen manually. As you can see, something like that. But before you do this job, at first you must pick up and select your light for the main source. So I will reduce my rendering quality to the medium mode, close the visual setting, and hold shift and right click and move my cursor. Now I change the time of the day, and you can see the final result in here, right side bottom of my screen. You can see the time of the day, very simple and easy. So I need something near to the morning or the midnight, or maybe start of the morning, something about 8 a.m. can be really good. But I have some problem with the sun direction and sun angle. So I hold Control on my keyboard, U and I on my keyboard, and change my sun direction and angle. So I think, for example, something from the right side can be really good for this job. For example, something like that. So I'm going to play with the time of the day another time to reach to the best result of my job and rendering. So something like that can be really good. I'm going to click on the F on my keyboard, click on the Enscape render number 1, and click on the edit view. So I have some work with my eye height. How I can change the eye height? One of the coordinate positions related to the XYZ, and the Y is your eye height. As you can see, now we have 3.2 meter from the ground, and I want to increase it to the 4 to have some type of better view of my job. You can change it to the 3.6, and now we have better screen, and click on the save option. So I will close it in here, change the time of the day another time, something like that can be really good, and play with the U and I. For example, something like this is good. So I will click on the visual setting another time. So my sun set for me. I want to turn off the auto exposure and re-exposure my screen manually. Something about 24 is good. I want to turn on the depth of field, so I will move my visual setting a little bit in here. I will uncheck the autofocus, and I only want to focus on the cars and the building's body. So I will play with the focal point, and you can see some type of shiny line on your rendering screen. And I only want to focus on these bodies and these artworks to see the better detail of my job. 24.70 meter is good. And look at the environment, what will happen right now. When I increase the depth of field, as you can see, some type of blur power will be increased at the environment. So some number about 19% can be a good number. So don't use it on the overheat mode or high values. At the image bar, I'm going to turn on the auto contrast. Saturation is not bad, but it can be improved. So color temperature, when I decrease it, I will have some type of warm rendering here. And when I increase it, the cold colors will be shown for me. Something about 7000 Kelvin is really good, and saturation is about 104%. The body of this car is really hyper realistic, and I converted to the metallic color. So motion blur is 0. We don't need any type of lens flare, so I will turn off the bloom and lens flare together. So vignette is about 4 and chromatic abbreviation not useful right now. At the atmosphere, I don't need any type of fog for my job. And sun brightness. When I increase the sun brightness, you can see some type of sun source power intensity will be increased for you, and it's really good, not bad, but it can be burn your render and building. So 100% can be normal right now. Night sky is not important, so I will turn it off. Shadow sharpness. Look at this place in here. When I increase the shadow sharpness to the 100, I have some type of sharp shadows in my environment and I can see it in here. But if I want to tell the truth, it's not really realistic. So 37% is good. Artificial, not useful, but I can increase it to the 142, and ambient brightness is about 70%. So intensity of the wind is completely 0 and skybox. I need some type of blue clean sky, so I can turn on the white cubes for my environment, and I can turn off the clouds to the 0. Very simple like that. As you can see, now we have better sun shading in environment, and all of them related to your job and your work with the clouds. So white cubes is good. Output is about JPG. I need full HD render. At the main bar, I can turn on the auto exposure and re-exposure my job with the auto exposure, and you can see the differences. Auto exposure always must be checked out, and it's really good. 54% for this job, and image bar is good. I think we don't need any type of other things in here. Alright, I will close it, and I have some problem with these objects placement. So for this job, I'm going to select the tree in here and move it a little bit to the left side, and you can see the changes and details in here. I can click on the flip option in the SketchUp 2023 and play with my object's coordinate, and it can be affect your render sometimes like that, and it's really good for your job. So I can move it a little bit near to the camera, about, for example, 50 centimeter, and all of the jobs done right now. I can click on this tree in here, another time take another copy like that, and repeat it for the 2 times, and everything is done for me right now. I can rescale one of them for the testing like that, and you can see in the background what will happen. But I prefer to use some type of small trees because I need a little bit of sky in my job. So I will rescale all of these trees at the same time, and something like that is good. So I need some 2-point perspective render. So I can click on the visual setting, click on the edit view, and I want to play with the eye height and pitch. So I want to increase pitch to the 8 and reduce the eye height about 2.8. So when I change the projection to the 2-point perspective, now we have some better view about our job, and I can save my new camera shot. So I hold shift and right click, play with the sunlight another time, and I need some lighting, for example, from the right side, something like that. So everything is done for me right now. I only want to add some type of personage in my environment, so I can change my category to the people and change it to the walking, so it will show all of the assets with the walking mode. So I want to select this girl in here, click on the select it, rotate it, and apply changes. As you can see, after all of these changes, we can see these type of hyper realistic renders, and it's really wonderful. So I want to add another personage, for example this guy in here, and select it, rotate it, and move it a little bit near to the car and apply changes. As you can see, it takes a little bit time, and after that you can see the final result, and it's really wonderful. It works equal with the V-Ray or Enscape in the quality and reality. So I will close the asset library again, and I want to click on the visual setting, increase my rendering quality to the high mode, and another time to the ultra mode. So as you can see, some type of exposures and shadows will be changed very on the small range. It doesn't matter, but I prefer to use another setting for my new rendering quality. So I need some blue sky in here, but I don't know how I can catch it. So the fix is that you can increase the saturation to have some type of blue sky in here. And shadow or color temperature can be increased, and main bar is good. So everything is done for us right now, and time for the rendering. But the detail of these trees are too much, so I can increase the depth of field to the 30% and play with the focal point. So 26.20 is good. And when I increase the depth of field a little bit, I can see more brightness, and it's really good. So something about 44 is good for this job, and the final result is something like that. So time for the rendering. I only want to click on the screenshot button in here and save it on my desktop with the JPG and press save. Under than 20 minutes you reach to the these type of hyper or super realistic renders in Enscape for SketchUp. So if you like this video, please comment your opinion about the Enscape rendering engine, and like and subscribe our YouTube channel. And the final result in here, and I will maximize the photo viewer for you, and this is the final result. Thanks for your watching, thanks for your support, and goodbye.